All right, next we'll go to the town administrator's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Real brief fishing platform update requested by Selectman DeBartolomeus. We did have a meeting, Highway Surveyor, Building Commissioner, Town Engineer, Chairman of the Commission on Disability, and Carlo Molinari, who will be doing the work. We should be starting work the second week in June. It should take 2 to 3 weeks. The Highway Department will be assisting in bringing in loom and seed and purchasing concrete. Mr. Christopher is also getting quotes on the railing. All the work will be performed within the specifications and plans prepared by former town engineer Mike Santora. All budgets on the jurisdiction of the board are on target, except as prior noted. And I do just have a memo from Reno DeLuzio regarding the Milford Upper Charles Trail Phase 3. He just wants people to know that to continue its policy of keeping the immediate abutters to the trail informed, the committee is pleased to report that construction work will soon begin along the Phase 3 trail corridor. Initial activities will include surveying, land clearing and grubbing, tree removal, and erosion control. You were advised to notify all occupants, tenants of the pending construction. Additional notices will be forthcoming as construction proceeds. Engineering plans are available for inspection. And your continued support of this important community project is appreciated. The only other matter I want to bring to the board's attention, as the board knows, Town Treasurer Barbara Ogier has submitted a letter of resignation. Barbara has served the town of Milford for many years in a highly skilled, professional, and dedicated manner, and certainly will be extremely difficult to replace. Town Council Moody has provided the board a memorandum detailing the procedure to fill the vacancy, as well as information for the board to consider regarding the process to be followed should you seek to make the town treasurer an appointed position. Certainly, we will await direction from the board, but it will require some attention. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Valeni. Yeah, I'm not sure where all the discussions happened and where it's coming from in terms of changing the position to appointed by the board. I haven't heard any discussion by this board, so you know, my point of view is frankly that the position is appointed by the electorate, and the voters decided that. If the board would like to take it up, then we can do it through motions and whatnot. I haven't seen Jerry's memo, so I'll look through that and respond to him accordingly as well. Any comments by the members of the board?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, certainly want to wish Barbara all the luck and good fortune. We have an opportunity. Over the past 15 years, we've talked about this several times with town council and just possibilities. We have a situation now where we have an opening in the treasurer's office. There may be another situation. I think we should go on a three-point plan. I think hopefully on the 17th at our next meeting, we could have some information from Attorney Valani after discussing the matter with the town council and also the town accountant. But I think we should come up with a plan moving forward and hopefully taking care of the interim situation in that office as the best we can. But to me, I'm only one person, I think here's a wonderful opportunity to make the treasurer's position appointed. I think it should be appointed. Most of the treasurers in Massachusetts are appointed. There are also combinations with a tax collector, so I'd be interested to have some information on that. We did receive the memo from town council, and going forward, what would be the process? But I think we can consolidate some positions. I think we can save some money. And then at the same time, I'd like recommendations from Attorney Valani after he discusses the matter with all the interested parties, a plan as far as on an interim basis, what should we do? So hopefully we can have that by the 17th, our next meeting, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dean. Brian?
Yeah, no, in line with that, in terms of Jerry's memo, regardless of whether we want the position to remain as is or if we want to move to an appointment, we do have the obligation to appoint a temporary officer, and Jerry has recommended that we appoint our Assistant Treasurer, Kelly Capisi, as the acting treasurer going forward. So I would make that motion.
And I would second that.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor? Two in favor, I'm opposed.
And that would occur, obviously, upon Barbara's leaving, so it just gives us a person in charge and responsible and accountable for the office. And then I think what Dean is suggesting going forward makes a lot of sense, particularly in the news that we learned today that Paula is looking to retire also. It's an opportunity, I think, to maybe consolidate some things. And, you know, this position, this treasurer position really has evolved, and I think Barbara Ogier herself deserves a large amount of credit in evolving that position to bring it greater responsibility than it ever had. It's tremendously important to the town, particularly you saw the item that she brought forth tonight, saving the town over $860,000 over the course of 10 years with a bond refinance. It's technical. It's as technical as the accountant, and that position has been elevated to a contract position to ensure qualifications. So I agree. Going forward, I think it really is in the best interest of the town to move this position towards an appointed position, and whether or not it gets consolidated with a tax collector like many other communities, you know, I think that's some information, as Dean indicated, you know, we can look forward. Rick can probably put together some info for us, and we can look at it the next meeting or so.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just a couple of more points. You know, Kelly Capace is a wonderful lady, and I think she'll do a good job. Now, it may be a situation where we might have to lean on someone else to assist in certain situations, or look at some type of a consultant, small scale, to assist her. But those are the things that I'm sure Attorney Villani and Town Council Moody will be bringing forward to us as far as any recommendation. And when Tony Randall retired, God bless Tony Randall, at that time, there was serious consideration of combining the positions and making them appointed, and then certain things happened and people became ill and it didn't happen. But here's a perfect chance to, through attrition or when there's an opening, to indeed do that. And I think that once we get the information, and it's already precedent because I think most of the communities do have an appointed person, so we can get all that information, and then I'm sure we can have a good discussion on the 17th, or begin that discussion anyway.
Sure, and I, as chair, I have one vote, and, you folks have had the opportunity to articulate your point of view and why. My point is just simply the town of Milford has done a very good job of putting very qualified people there in terms of voters, and I know Franklin just tried to change their position and was unsuccessful. It's okay if we have a different point of view. We'll have the discussion and move forward. I just wanted to let you know at least my position as you shared yours.
Sure.
Thank you. Next is old business. Town administrator recommendation for low bidder on the police roof.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you know, an invitation to bid was issued by the town to replace the police station roof. On May 17th, bids were opened and recorded. The low bidder was Meadows Construction of 4 New Pasture Road, Newburyport, Mass. The low bid was $294,000. I've presented the board with a memorandum showing the other bids. The project manager, Richard Gorham from Russo Bar, the design architect, has stated that Meadows submitted all required paperwork with their bid. He has checked their references. All references were positive. In fact, Russo Bar has done work with Meadows, and he recommends, as do I at this time, that you award the contract to the low bidder, Meadows Construction, for the sum of $294,000, and I would be asking for a vote to award the contract to them.
Okay, thank you, Rick. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman.
Okay. I also vote in favor to award the contract to Meadows Construction for the new police roof at $294,000. Thank you. Did I put, that's yours? That's yours, okay. We're a little tight here tonight, so it's staying organized is somewhat difficult. Net metering contract amendment. Rick, you want to walk us through that?
Yeah, just very briefly, as you know, the board did sign a 5-year contract for a net metering credit sale and purchase agreement. As you know, as a result of town meeting approved the extension of that contract for an additional 15 years, and that's what this amendment, First Amendment to that net metering credit sale and purchase agreement seeks to do. So I would be asking the board to authorize and to sign this extension or amendment.
Before we go to a motion, are any questions for the town administrator as it relates to this proposal and some of the figures that we have provided for us? All right, not hearing any. I'll entertain a motion. Is there a motion?
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right, so specifically, I just want to be clear, there's one signature. It's authorized the Board of Selectmen Chair to enter into this agreement on behalf of the Board of Selectmen in the town. Is that everybody in favor of that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's unanimous, thank you. Do you have the?
I do.
All right. Next, we go to new business, and Larry Duncan, Phase 3 Trail Construction Access. Larry, do you want to represent that while you're here?
Mr. Chairman, we're requesting your approval of use of the Sterling property. I believe we have a packet for memo and some attachments that outline the proposal. Eastland Partners is in the process of preparing the trail for construction. We're doing this construction season and next. The Sterling property is approximately 25 acres at the end of Carroll Street. It would be advantageous for them to use the portion of it at the end of Carroll Street where the pavement still exists where the old buildings have been. That would allow them access to the trail, which abuts the road and a portion of the Sterling property. In fact, it as approved, encroaches onto the Sterling property. Former Sterling property, town.
Okay, any questions for the town planner?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Right.
No, all set.
Okay, I don't have any questions.
Want a
Is-
motion?
Yeah. so,
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Seconded.
I'd also vote in favor of that. Thank you. Thank you, Larry. Next item on the agenda. Get to it. New business, town engineer, police chief, traffic aid recommendation for Prentice Avenue. Are there any questions or comments? The information provided?
No, I guess the recommendation, Mr. Chairman, is to recommend that the street be converted from parking allowed on both sides to parking allowed on one side only, and that the permit-only parking be identified, and this is being recommended by our town engineer and also the police chief, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Brian, any questions or comments?
No.
Okay, I don't have any either. Prepared to take that recommendation from town planner, police chief.
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Seconded.
I'd vote in favor as well. Next item on the agenda is Louisa Lake Accessibility Fishing Platform. Rick, you want to,
Yes, I
Address
believe
that.
this is a gift to be used for the construction of the accessible platform at Louisa Lake, kindly donated by Harold and Marcia Rhodes. The amount of the gift is $9,000. Harold is here tonight, and we need a vote to accept the gift.
okay, that's an incredible amount, and I'll ask Dean if you have any comments.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Brian, outstanding individuals, Harold and Marcia, they are very concerned residents. They've always been supportive of projects. They've made many contributions to the community during the past 3 or 4 years, including the bike trail, other projects. And their primary concern is removing barriers for disabled people and providing full accessibility. So without this magnificent contribution of $9,000, this platform could not have been possible, and we certainly want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Harold Rhodes for their contribution.
Very, very generous. Brian, any comments?
Yeah, no, that's great, and I know, like Dean had indicated, it's not the first time that they've done that, so, we're very fortunate to have such caring residents in the town, so very pleased to be a part of being able to approve this gift.
Agreed. Thank you. So now take a
Motion, Mr.
motion.
Chairman.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you. Next, we have a permit to extract by the Music and Arts, 164 Main Street, specifically Pete Bine, who's provided attachment. Looking to obstruct, and it isn't clear to me from this, this is a celebration at Milford Music and Arts, but I'm not sure exactly how much obstruction. So it's just the sidewalk, as indicated here. I haven't had an opportunity to go through this particular portion of it, so are there questions by the members? Comments?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the only thing I would say is make it contingent upon the police chief approval. It seems to be basically for the public on that date. I don't know if the police chief has seen that, Rick?
Yeah, normally we would look for a signature by the police chief before we had folks obstruct public way.
Yeah, it's going to take place on the sidewalk in front of the store, as well as in the parking area immediately behind the store, according to the letter submitted.
So is it that the,
Subject to the police
Yeah.
chief?
yeah.
The
we
board
can do
wants,
it
I
that
can
way.
make sure, yep.
Yeah,
that's fine.
we need the chief certainly to
Yep.
weigh in.
Be in favor, subject to the chief?
Yeah,
Sure.
so take a motion to that?
Motion, second,
Okay.
second to Brian.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second to approve pending police chief review and approval. All those in favor? All those opposed? That's unanimous. Next item on the agenda is Military Peer Support Program, 5K road race. Any questions or
Motion, Mr.
comments?
Chairman.
Okay.
Motion.
Second.
I'm also in favor. That's unanimous. Next is an application for a one-day license from Cafe Sorrento, 143 Central Street.
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
That's unanimous. Next is Milford Youth Center renovation from the town administrator. Rick, you want to provide an update on that?
Yes. As a result of the action taken at the May 20 annual town meeting, I've worked with Town Council Moody, Town Engineer Bonnie Reese. We have prepared the enclosed RFQ for your review. If it is approved, I will have the necessary advertisement placed in the Central Register for Wednesday, June 12th, Milford Daily News on the same date. Submissions would be due by July 8th, 2013. We believe we can meet that timeline. And also then, I guess, we would send a letter to form the Design Selection Committee, comprising a member of the Board of Selectmen, Building Commissioner, Town Engineer, and 2 members from the Milford Youth Commission.
Okay. Any comments or questions by the members of the board? You have the RFQ.
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, and I'll also vote in favor of it. That's unanimous.
And then I'll also ask the board to be the selectman's representative on this.
Okay.
Yeah, motion?
You'll second it, Brian, I'm sure. Oh, you had the motion, you had the second. I'll vote in favor. That's unanimous. Okay. We don't have any other items for discussion this evening. Is there a member of, I'm
Restaurant
sorry.
89. Restaurant 89.
Oh, there was the new ad, that's right.
Yeah, Restaurant 89 is basically looking for a
Yep.
delivery parking space on West Bruce Street. I believe Rick had gotten the approval of the police chief and the fire chief and also the town engineer. Is that correct, Rick?
Yes. In fact, it was, the recommendation is actually coming from the Town Engineer.
Okay.
after meeting, so, yes.
Mike has a lot of challenges at that location, and the owner, and this is from Bob Clark, requesting that since we have the recommendations from the town engineer and police chief, are there any other questions that the members of the board have? Okay, if not, we'll go to a vote. There's a motion.
Seconded.
Okay, so the members of the board vote unanimously to support the recommendations of town engineer and police chief and the request of Mr. Clark. Okay. Are there any items of correspondence the members want to bring up that haven't been discussed at this point? If not, what I'll do is move that we adjourn the meeting. I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting. The plan is to go into executive session this evening to discuss collective bargaining. All right. Seconded. We will not be returning to open session. And again, it's collective bargaining as it relates to the fire contract. I'll go for a roll call vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
I also vote in favor. That's unanimous. Thank you. And that concludes the